She's going to pass this fetus in the toilet. She's going to have to deal with that on her own. There's a 50% chance, greater than 50% chance that she's going to lose her uterus. There's a 10% chance that she will develop sepsis and herself die. That weighs on me. I voted for that bill.
You just heard from a Republican state lawmaker from the state of South Carolina, which is working to pass a near abortion ban with very few exceptions. In fact, there's only one exception in the legislation that's being debated right now, and it would be to save a woman's life if the pregnancy is putting her health or life in jeopardy. Now, Neal Collins is the representative you heard from in that video, and he seems to feel a little bit of remorse for voting in favor of legislation that restricts abortions in his state, because he was confronted by a specific story involving a woman who had a non-viable fetus and her health was in jeopardy as a result of that, but she was denied an abortion anyway. He gives more detail in the next clip.
A 19-year-old girl appeared at the ER. She was 15 weeks pregnant. Her water broke. And the fetus was unviable. The standard of care was to advise her that they could extract or she could go home. The attorneys told the doctors that because of the fetal heartbeat bill, because that 15-week-old had a heartbeat, the doctors could not extract. I followed up with the doctor a week later. She had heard nothing, did not know about the 19-year-old. Thank God I followed up 2 weeks later. She did return to the ER. They did extract the now non-beating fetus. What we do matters.
And you can see he's visibly emotional there. And look, I gotta say, while I might disagree with this state representative Neal Collins on pretty much every issue, it's so rare to see any Republican politician, whether it's on a federal or state level, who has any humanity left, really. And the fact that he's willing to speak out against something that he himself voted in favor of, knowing full well that the majority, every Republican in that state, every Republican lawmaker in that state in favor of this kind of legislation. I just want to give him some props, even though there might be a lot of disagreement. Because again, it's rare to see that level of humanity among Republican politicians these days. Now, State Representative Neal Collins told South Carolina's House Judiciary Committee that he would not be voting on a ban that only has exceptions for saving the life of the mother. The bill provides no provisions for victims of rape or incest. And clearly, as you can tell from the story that he shared with everybody, state also doesn't make any exceptions for a woman whose actual health is in jeopardy unless she, gets that unviable fetus extracted. Just because it had a heartbeat, in their minds, a heartbeat. Doesn't matter that that pregnancy isn't gonna make it. Doesn't matter that this 19-year-old, 19, worst case scenario, which doctors put at 50%, by the way, she was gonna lose her uterus, which means she would never be able to have children again. Who cares? Who cares? We're not draconian enough. We're here to talk about making this even more draconian. That's what this whole meeting was about. And so unfortunately, the near total abortion ban has advanced in the South Carolina legislature. A South Carolina House committee advanced a near total abortion ban, largely along party lines, in a 13-7 vote on Tuesday. The bill, which was advanced out of the Republican-controlled state House Judiciary Committee, would prohibit abortions in the state with exceptions in case where the life or health of the mother is at risk. 5 committee members did not cast a vote. But even so, guys, I mean, clearly this woman's health was at risk. I mean, she could have died from sepsis. But the counsel representing the hospital was like, don't Don't take that risk. You might be prosecuted. These Republican lawmakers are nuts. They'll rain terror on you. You don't want to lose your license. You don't want to go to court. You don't want the hospital to go bankrupt due to legal fees. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And they didn't do it until that unviable fetus no longer had a heartbeat. And these consequences for the Republican culture war, the culture war that is waged on women in this country, are dire. Okay, because while luckily it seems like this 19-year-old ended up being okay, that was a massive risk. And then there are other incidents. Like let's take a quick trip to Louisiana, for instance, where one woman found out that her fetus was not developing properly. The fetus doesn't have a head. Let me just repeat that one more time. The fetus does not have a head. So eventually, since the fetus is not developing appropriately, she was gonna miscarry. And so she could either wait for that day, which will be painful and potentially dangerous, or she can go to the doctor's office and they can extract the unviable, headless fetus. But Louisiana wouldn't allow her to do that because of their abortion restrictions. I mean, it's just, there it is. Woman may be forced to give birth to a headless baby because of an abortion ban. Abortions in Louisiana are now only permitted to prevent the death or substantial risk of death due to a physical condition or to prevent the serious permanent impairment of a life-sustaining organ of a pregnant woman. And Nancy Davis, who's the woman who's now going to have to suffer the consequences of the Republican war on women, says, "It's hard knowing that I'm carrying it to bury it." Super pro-life, right? She's gonna have to deliver, likely in her bathroom, sitting on a toilet by herself, maybe with her partner if her partner's there. She's gonna have to deliver a headless fetus. Either that, or she's gotta gather the resources necessary to travel out of state to a place called civilization, where she gets to make decisions about her own body. Just today on Twitter, a conservative who's upset at anyone who would try to persuade Americans to get the COVID vaccine was mad at me because I was like, look, you guys want to get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. I don't care anymore. Do whatever you want. And his argument to me was, oh, well, thank you for allowing me to have my bodily autonomy. Right wingers crack me up. You have no place in any conversation pertaining to bodily autonomy, especially when you support policies that force women to give birth to a headless baby in their home because doctors can't do it. You always talk about bodily autonomy. Yeah, let's talk about the bodily autonomy of a 10-year-old rape victim in Ohio who had to travel out of state to abort the rapist baby. I mean, it's just disgusting. These people are gross. They don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in what this country was supposed to stand for, the idea of America. They just want to crush you with whatever their alleged belief system is. And at the end of the day, they don't even believe their own belief system. Because there's an endless number of Republicans in this country who have rushed their women over to the abortion clinic as soon as they found out there was an unwanted pregnancy. You should talk to Congressman DeJarlais, whose wife and mistress got abortions from them urging to do it. It's all about punishment, it's all about control. And for politicians, it's about political power. That's it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.